munching on?
A cough drop.
Okay.
Just opening up the sinuses
All right.
to talk about the draft.
All right.
I'm a little out of practice doing a night show into a morning show.
Oh. Just you wait.
Just you wait.
What was the song?
Gossip, folks. Yeah.
Okay.
Great song. How about this? Iconic song.
It's not. What's iconic about that? Okay. No. I don't think that's iconic, Jessica.
I do.
Oh no. I forgot we had that draft today.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I have a working list,
Okay.
but I don't have
I have
any.
a list of like 40 movies.
I don't have. I stopped. I was like, yo, at 20, we got to stop. And so I got 20 of them, but I don't have any cool, fun, interesting facts other than the stuff I already know about them. So, yeah, we taking. I started doing it, and I was like, you know what? I don't have any cartoons on here. And then I started thinking about the cartoons.
Too many. Don't
It's like,
start.
holy hell.
I tried to take per genre.
I tried to
A
do
little bit.
that, but then it was, well, these movies are the best of this particular genre.
I have an absurd amount of movies to choose from. Also, we were supposed to invite Bennett.
We weren't supposed to invite Bennett. We
I
talked
thought we were
about
going to invite Bennett.
No, you told me that Bennett would be coming off of a late night, and so let him sleep in.
I thought you responded with Bennett would want to do it anyway.
I did, but you didn't give me the confirmation. You didn't say, yeah, you know what, you're right, go for it.
That was bad communication.
Okay, all right.
On my
Jessica.
part.
I don't read minds.
On my part.
I'm not a mind reader.
I hate mind reading. Except I like when I read the Grizzlies' mind. And they take the player I wanted them to take in the draft.
All right.
What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, June 26th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, the Memphis Grizzlies got their guy traded up for Cedric Coward with the 11th pick in last night's NBA draft. We will get into what that means for the Grizzlies. Zach Kleiman's comments from last night. We have an interview with Cedric Coward as well. We will also get into all the draft's winners and losers from the first round. Second round will take place later today. Teresa Walker will join us. We'll get her takes on last night's draft. And then it's Thursday, which means it's draft day for us. And in honor of the New York Times releasing their top 100 movies of the 21st century, we are drafting our best movies of the 21st century. It is a Thursday. You know what we say. Welcome to Memphis, Cedric Coward. Not Colin Coward. Not Colin Coward. Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. with special guests Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Tony Allen joining us. I believe Hey!
Young TA with a fresh chop. That boy sliced today, boy. You say, that boy got the tape on the side? Okay, TA.
Hey, and I like how you blurred out your background so we can't see that La Quinta this time.
Can't see the hole in the wall, TA.
Can't see the hole in the wall.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, it could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what's it all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, and welcome everybody into today's show. An exciting Thursday in Memphis coming out of the first round of the NBA draft last night. Second round today, Grizzlies have 2 second-round picks as it stands of this morning because you just never know what this front office is going to do. And last night, that was going out and getting their guy. I've decided the Grizzlies operate like a 2000s romantic comedy because they fall head over heels in love. And if they are in love, they will run after that person in the rain and get him, as they did with Cedric Coward last night. He was called Colin Coward when he got drafted on the ESPN broadcast, but it is Cedric Coward. He is a Memphis Grizzly. He was acquired from the Grizzlies by the Portland Trail Blazers. They moved up from 16 to 11. They gave up that 16th pick, giving it to Portland. Also a 2028 first rounder and a second rounder. So using 2 of the first gained in the Desmond Bane trade to Orlando to end up with Cedric Coward here in Memphis. We were live on air for the Grind City Media Draft Show last night, and I think the on-air reaction was pretty indicative of a lot of people in Memphis who also fell in love with Cedric Coward throughout this draft process. When you're going into a draft, there are multiple stages of how you feel. And I think there was a heavy amount of hope that perhaps the Grizzlies would not get younger and be able to use this chamber of assets to trade for a veteran. But then as you start getting closer to the draft, you start really finding yourself having an affinity for certain players. And I think the one player that the majority of people here in Memphis, fans of the Grizzlies, kind of landed on going into the draft was Cedric Coward. And you're watching his tape, you're hearing about his measurables, they're calling him baby Kawhi Leonard, you're listening to his interviews in which he's just like a real standout guy. Like his interviews just kind of make you fall in love with him. He has a great story. It's funny, I even going into last night's draft, just as a little bit of an experiment, I asked ChatGPT who the Grizzlies should draft in the 2025 NBA draft. Do you want to know what their answer was, CJ? No. Cedric Coward. So everybody was on board for the Grizzlies potentially taking Cedric Coward, and then they ultimately trade up to get their guy. They wanted a long, versatile, athletic wing who can shoot and who can defend, and Cedric Coward is that. Now, you know me. I am always going to be a sucker for a Pac-12 guy, and now it is back-to-back drafts where the Grizzlies go out and get a player from Washington State, Jalen Wells last year, and now another Washington State product in Cedric Coward. Jalen Wells was a great story last year. Cedric Coward, before we get into the fit and the move and the pick and everything, just in terms of great stories from last night's draft, one of the best stories from last night's NBA draft is Cedric Coward. To go from Willamette, a Division III school in Oregon, and to go from there to playing 2 seasons at Eastern Washington in Cheney, Washington, to then go and play 6 games at Washington State, where his season was cut short because he had season-ending shoulder surgery. But his tape to that point, his skills to that point, so impressive, so promising, that Duke wants him and offers him an NIL deal, and he is set to transfer to Duke before he goes to the NBA Combine and suddenly catches fire, and he's now being foreseen as a first-round pick, and it starts as a late first-round pick, and then as we get closer and closer to the draft, and at this point he's declared for the NBA draft, decided to put his name into that, not go to school, not go to Duke, and he goes from being a late first-rounder to a projected lottery pick to a player that the Grizzlies were so confident in that they trade up to the 11th spot in last night's draft from 16 to take Cedric Coward. Like, to go from Willamette to the number 11 pick in the 2025 NBA draft, those kind of things are not supposed to happen. And then when they do happen, it is one of those examples of what makes sports so cool. I mean, this guy doesn't even have a photo on his Wikipedia page. And now he is an NBA player. He is a member of the Memphis Grizzlies. And what's also cool is if you squint, yeah, he does kind of look like Kawhi Leonard. So we got our reaction live on air, and everyone was pretty excited because I think if you've been watching Grind City Media over the last few days, over the last weeks, there has been a buzz for Cedric Coward here and in Memphis. CJ, you were not on the draft show last night. We missed you.
I was in the chat for a little bit.
We really missed you.
You guys didn't. You guys were crushing it. It was good stuff to watch.
I can always count on you to throw a little sand on the complete hopium that sometimes I get hooked on. Because that's what I am. After a draft, I'm like, this guy's going to be an all-star. He's going to be a major contribution to a Grizzlies team that one day is going to be a contender. Maybe not tomorrow, but someday there's this path forward where Cedric Coward is a part of the very real contending future for the Memphis Grizzlies. What was your reaction to the Grizzlies trading up to take Coward last night?
Hey, if you like a player, don't wait for him to fall till you go up and get him. And this team needs another 3-and-D wing, right? You can't have too many of those. You can't have enough of those. Somebody who can play defense, preferably guard multiple positions as I slow down. Guard multiple positions on the perimeter, and hell, maybe even be able to guard like a small ball 4 from time to time. You can't have enough of those on your roster. We just watched the NBA Finals, and I think combined, when you look at the rosters of the Thunder and of the Indiana Pacers, and we're just looking at 3-and-D type players, I think combined, 9 of those dudes on those rosters who play significant minutes are 3-and-D type of guys, right? So you need that in the NBA. And if you're telling me that you think this is one of those types of players, go out there and get him. He was shooting over 40% from 3 in college. Go out there and get him. Every time he talks about playing defense and playing with the grit. We love people who play with the grit in this city. Immediately when he said that, it's like, oh, okay, that's somebody who's the city's going to embrace immediately. So if that's who you like, go up and get him. Don't wait for him, because anything can happen, and then you could be in a situation taking somebody that you didn't have as highly regarded as him. So yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. My question initially was, well, if you could trade up to 11, why not move up to 10? It takes 2 people to trade, but why not try and move up to 10 and take what's his name, Malachi, whatever Duke's dude name,
Malawach?
That one. Why not trade up and get
I'd
him?
rather have a 3-and-D wing that by all means scout, at least the scouting. And this is how the draft works. You never know how a player is going to ultimately translate
so why get
into
excited?
the NBA.
Why get outrageously over the top excited?
I wouldn't call it outrageously over the top excited. I would call it a healthy amount of excitement coming out of a draft, which I would rather be in a position where you can talk yourself into a player who many scouts viewed as a starting quality NBA player, somebody who is a little bit on the older side, Obviously, the knock is he only played 6 games at Washington State last year. So when you're looking at his shooting numbers, they are elite. Not only, as you mentioned, shooting over 40% from 3, he shot 59% overall from the field in his college career, 72% on 2-point shots. And if you really go down into the nerdy numbers of it all, 69% career true shooting percentage, 66% career effective field goal percentage. When you put Cooper Flagg versus Cedric Coward and you look at these stats, 72% on 2-point shots compared to Cooper Flagg's 52% on 3-point shots, just the same as Cooper Flagg in his college career. Obviously, Cooper Flagg played significantly more games at Duke, but Cedric Coward has played significantly more games overall from Eastern to Washington State, and the measurables are there. And then the measurables too. I mean, I know this time of year is reckless comparison season, like absolute reckless comps being made constantly. But when you look at the measurables of Cedric Coward and somebody like, I don't know, a Kawhi Leonard, wings with his size have generally had pretty consistent success in the NBA. Kawhi at the combine, 6'6", 7'3" wingspan, standing reach of 8'10", hand width of 11, 227 pounds.
I'm doing my best over
Stop
here.
it. Coward at the combine,
6'6",
7'2" wingspan, standing reach 8'1", hand width 10, 213 pounds.
Come on. The dude played 6 games of high-level college basketball, and he didn't play, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like he played a gauntlet in those 6 games. Let's ease all I ask. I'm not trying to throw sand on the flame of hope, right? Like, I'm not trying to kill your hopium buzz. All I simply ask is that we not do that.
Okay, but why can't you bring up realistic statistical comparisons?
That's not a real measurements. Measurements are not the only thing that matters.
Of course, it's not the only thing that matters.
But y'all are talking about
you
him
the
like
shooting
he's
percentages.
not. The shooting percentage against D3 kids? What are we talking about here?
Enough that John Shire at Duke was ready to give a pretty hefty NIL package for him next year.
Going to play at Duke is different than coming to play in the NBA. Playing at Duke is phenomenal. It's terrific. One of the best college basketball programs in the nation.
I just watched 3 players from Duke get drafted in the top 10 last night.
Absolutely. But we saw those 3 players play at Duke. We saw them play collegiate basketball. We saw them play good college basketball teams. Not trying, again, don't want to.
You're pissing in my Cheerios.
I'm trying to keep it zipped up here. You keep doing things like saying, next Kawhi Leonard. Like, no, I said
that there were measurable comparisons to be made. That is not saying he is absolutely 100% going to be the next Kawhi Leonard. Did I ever say that?
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I let it slide right when we started the show.
They're calling him Baby Kawhi.
That's calling him Kawhi.
That is not calling him Kawhi.
That's calling him Kawhi.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, take that apart and just look at the fact that there is enough for this player that the Grizzlies have identified him to be enough to take the assets that you got in the Desmond Bane trade and take 2 of them and use them to trade up in the draft to get Cedric Coward. And I did think we got a little bit more of an illumination on the thought of Zach Kleiman in this front office when he spoke last night here at FedEx Forum following the conclusion of the first round of the draft, and particularly when he was asked by Chris Harrington a question on the building around Ja and Jaren and the use of assets on draft night to trade up to take a rookie in Cedric Coward versus the idea of perhaps using those assets to trade for a veteran. Here is a part of that answer from Zach Kleiman's availability last night. Take a listen.
Ja and Jaren are not old. I guess I would start there. I think there's different ways that you can build towards where you're ultimately trying to get to. And I think one of the things that we acknowledged, coming out of this is that you can push in different ways. We insert in closely looking at, all of the avenues that we could pursue. I think we specifically identified Cedric, in this draft as a player that has more upside, at least than a lot of the, names that get thrown around, which are not necessarily available. Most it's easy to throw out names, right? But like it's we see, and we have real belief, in Cedric, and we'll get, kind of more into him. But I think part of the rationale, for making this type of a move is the pursuit of a potential higher end outcome. We could, I intimated this maybe, at the end of the season, but we do feel like we're not just like one guy away from Are we one guy away from maybe getting a little bit further? Sure, but we for being honest with ourselves, we don't feel like we're one guy away from winning the championship.
And that, I think, sums it up. And we started to get this in exit interviews. And I don't think you have to like go over your skis with a comment of we're not one guy away from competing for a championship. Competing for winning a championship is hard. We say it every single year. And even when a team wins a championship like the Thunder did this year, everybody's trying to find ways to somehow discredit what the Thunder have done. Oh, they got there because of the injury luck. And can they really go back and do it again? Even though the odds say that they have a ridiculously high odds of winning again next year. But you look at a Grizzlies team that competes in the ever competitive, stupidly competitive Western Conference. And I think there's a level of realism right now on, yes, you are building around Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Yes, they are still pretty young in their careers. And you also have two players in Jalen Wells, who they obviously are high enough on that significantly made an impact on their decision to ultimately move on from Desmond Bane, to get the assets back in that trade, to get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who Kleiman spoke on last night and seemed pretty positive on the significance of adding KCP to the roster, especially even went as far as talking about his locker room tendencies and how perfect that can be for the group right now, being someone who's in their 30s, has the championship experience behind him, obviously adds the defensive-oriented championship player that the Grizzlies want on the roster. Is it the sexiest 3-and-D wing that people have wanted to go out and get? No, not necessarily. But as Kleiman said, like sometimes the dreams and hope situations of veteran players that you're looking out for, sometimes that doesn't happen. And so when you have a player like a Cedric Coward, who they believe enough in to add to the eventual young, promising group around Ja and Jaren, I think that is reason to have genuine optimism. To sit here and at least allow yourself to be optimistic this morning versus some people who have taken the negative. Turn the music off. Teresa's not on until 8:30.
Oh, okay.
She worked the draft last night, so we got to get to Teresa at 8:30. We can fight about Cedric Coward for another 10 minutes. That's what we have the opportunity to do.
I'm not trying to fight with anybody about him. Y'all got it. That you need 3-and-D dudes. You need it. Measurements are there. Stats are there. If you like them, don't wait for them. Go up and get them. I'm fine with that. Somebody's got to be good enough to take this spot, though, right? Like that's been a running issue for a while now with this team is, okay, like on the perimeter, Desmond Bane will be out there, Ja will be out there. Can we get somebody else to step in and take this spot? And for so long, it was, all right, Zaire, what can you do? Then, like, Gigi, Vince, come on, what can you guys do? And too often with this franchise in the past 2.5, 3 seasons, that spot has been, that third perimeter spot
underwhelming.
Has been very underwhelming. Yep. Roddy, LaRavia, somebody, please just take the spot. So if you're thinking he can come in here and take that spot, absolutely go out there and get him. And now you need 2 of those, though. 2. Jalen Wells, well, I guess 1. You're saying Jalen Wells can be one of those guys for you. KCB can be 1. And you need others to step in and fill that void. It's a need that every NBA team has. Every NBA team needs a 3-and-D type dude. Now, if you're telling me that he can do that, and the measurements say that he can, for crying out loud, he's baby Kawhi all of a sudden. Let's go get it. D3 dude who played 6 games of college against probably nobodies. Probably I'll look and see what Washington State 6 games, who they played against. But I guarantee you it was nobodies. Y'all call him baby Kawhi. Y'all got it. If y'all like it, I love it. Let's see it go out there and perform at a high level. It is another rookie. You're getting younger again, but what else can you do? You do need rookie contracts that allows you to be able to pay people on your roster who you want to pay, who you want to keep happy. You probably want to extend, not probably, you definitely want to extend Jaren. I'm not sure what this selection says about the desire to bring someone like Asante back, but you've got the cap space now to do that as well. And there are a couple of other players that you'll need to pay, a couple of other vets that you'll need to pay, or you might want to pay in free agency. Having somebody on a rookie contract absolutely helps you do that, because you don't got to pay them the same amount as you do a vet. I understand that. I appreciate that. If he can come in here, make knockdown threes, not turn the ball over, and be a pretty good defender on the perimeter, then you got yourself a hitter here. But it's going to take him some time to develop. Not only is he a rookie, but he's a rookie coming off a pretty major injury.
Correct.
And he's a rookie coming off a pretty major injury whose only real experience is at the D3 level. So making the jump from D3
That's
to
not true. His majority of experience is at Eastern Washington. That's not
What's
a
Eastern
D3
Washington?
school.
D2?
D1.
Eastern Washington D1?
Correct.
Okay.
Is Eastern Washington is in the
You're
NCAA
right.
tournament. Yes.
You're right. Yeah, it's D1.
Come on.
I apologize.
Come on.
I apologize. Point still stands. Eastern Washington is not playing a whole lot of top tier competition either. So that's your only real experience, and you're a year
First
removed.
6 games of the season last year.
You're a year removed from that.
Portland State, Bradley, Idaho, Iowa, Northern Colorado, Eastern Washington. So a fair point. And I think the fairest of points is there to be reservations on the coming off of injury, especially when Grizzlies PR tweets have become a part of the lexicon of Grizzlies fans over the last few years because of the sheer outrageous number of injuries. And so there is a natural tendency to be overwhelmingly cautious and to be afraid of a player who is coming in off of a shoulder surgery and a player who throughout the draft workout process, he was going 1 versus 0, right? Like he hasn't been going up against competition in these workouts. And it's unclear if he'll be able to play in Summer League. He will first have to do 3-on-3. He'll then have to do 5-on-5. We're a weekend. I mean, this goes so quickly, CJ. Like, Summer League starts in a week and a half. July 5th is when Summer League starts, and he hasn't done 3-on-3 work. So,
if he can't have a full off season to get ready for next year, to get ready for the start of the NBA season,
yes,
like what's a fair expectation for this guy?
I think you have to give it time. And that is a deeper conversation.
So the window is shut then.
Well, you're not necessarily coming in guns a-blazing next season saying this team is competing. If your starting lineup next year is John Morant, Jalen Wells, let's shift him over to the 2, more natural position, KCP to start the year, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark because Zach Edey's hurt. I think you look at that roster and think that is a good team. That can be a team that wins games. That's a playoff team. But I don't think you're looking at that team and saying it's winning a championship next year, especially in a Western Conference where Kevin Durant just got added to the Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder are completely locked to not reload, but to take what they did last year and do it all over again. They don't have to reload. They get to just run it back was the phrase that I was looking for. You look at the West rising in teams like the Dallas Mavericks, and when do they get Kawhi back throughout, or not Kawhi back, now you have me on Kawhi. Kyrie back. In what part of the season are they able to legitimately have playoff aspirations of their own, with Cooper Flagg being able to grow alongside Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively and PJ Washington and Kyrie when he eventually comes back? Where do the Spurs, if the Spurs don't do anything else, they feel like they might still be a year away from being in the true mix of contending in the West. Yes, I know Victor Wembanyama became a Monk, and yes, I know Dylan Harper is exceptional, and there's a lot of excitement there, and Stephon Castle, and having De'Aaron Fox in that mix, but it feels like there's still a couple pieces from being in that window, in their primary window period. So if you're the Grizzlies, you're also in a situation where, yes, you are good, yes, you are a competitive team in the West, but I do think you have to temper your expectations. If Cedric Coward has not played a single game, and you're not just inserting him to immediately be, what is that sound?
I don't know, I heard it too. I thought I was tripping.
No, that really phased me out. That's Cedric Coward's music. But anyway, I think that is to go off Kleiman's comments last night. You never want to make too much of something that's said like that, but it's now been said twice. Essentially, from exit interviews to last night, it's not a matter of I think it's the concept of one veteran is not going to change the trajectory of this team. And they would prefer to go on the high upside opportunity of investing in a young player like a Cedric Coward, who perhaps gives you a longer run once you get to that sweet spot of a window, versus making a move just to make a move this year and to kind of placate people and saying, okay, here's a vet, but that's not necessarily making them A, a championship contender this year, and B, a long-term championship contender.
Okay. All right. If that's whatever the plan is, you shouldn't have to tell me the plan. I should be able to see the plan in the moves that you make. And what you're saying sounds like, and what you're saying, and from the moves that they've made, it sounds like that is the plan. They are looking around and saying, hey, you know what? It's best for us to build through the draft. Let's get as many picks as we can. Let's use those picks if necessary to move up in the draft and get the players that we've identified as the type of dudes who are going to come in here and fit into what this system and what this culture is. And let's try and build it that way. When you look at the Thunder, that's how they did it.
Right.
And the Thunder had down years. The Thunder had years where there's a reason why they got Chet Holmgren, right? There's a reason why they had one of the top 2 picks in the NBA draft.
They won like 22 games 3 years ago.
And so, but they stuck to it and they continue to roll with it. So, hey, if that's how you want to go about doing it, you got it. That's fine. That is all right with me. But you got to start hitting on some of these guys. It can't be, ooh, look at this. Remember how high everybody was on David Roddy? And then you look up and David Roddy doesn't play for the Phoenix Suns now. Then you remember how high everybody was on Zaire? And it was like, hey, it's Z season. Have Rosa over here doing all of this type stuff. And then look at Zaire. He's up in Brooklyn playing some, but he's up in Brooklyn.
He's a bird. He spread his wings.
Jake LaRavia, people were real high on Jake LaRavia.
I'm not ready yet to put the can on Jake LaRavia.
And Jake LaRavia is in Sacramento. He's doing some things out there, but they're not here, and it didn't work here. That's my main point is when they were here, it just did not seem to fit and did not seem to work. Now, they were all here under a different coach, under a different regime, so maybe some lessons were learned from that situation that the front office can then impart on Coach T.I. going forward. But you got to – the Thunder hit on some of these dudes. It does you no good to have a whole bunch of draft picks that you don't hit on. The Thunder hit on theirs. You got to hit on yours. And if y'all are telling me that you believe Cedric Coward is that, y'all got it. Go ahead.
I think you're also grasping for reasons to be positive. When even the draft starts last night with 2 division rivals getting the 2 best players in the draft, right? Like between the Mavs and the Spurs. And the Spurs now are coming off of back-to-back Rookies of the Year and adding someone like Dylan Harper. And the Mavs being rewarded for their generational insanity of trading Luka Doncic in the middle of last season and Nico Harrison getting to trot Cooper Flagg out there as the next generation of basketball in Dallas. And if you're the Grizzlies, you have to look at a division that at least you share the division with the insane New Orleans Pelicans. And when we get into our winners and losers of last night's draft, at least you are not the New Orleans Pelicans, who made an absurd trade during last night's draft. We do have to take a break. Teresa Walker is going to join us on the other side. We'll see who she agrees with more, me or CJ, as it pertains to the Grizzlies drafting of Cedric Coward in last night's draft. We'll also get her thoughts on the draft at large after a quick break.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizby, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment. And they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. It is Thursday. That means it's time to catch up with one of our favorites, Teresa Walker. She was on draft duty last night for the Associated Press. She joins us now. Teresa, how you doing this morning?
I need more caffeine because thunderstorms came out of nowhere this morning and it provided a nice little wake up in the Middle Tennessee area. In fact, my road is finally starting to not resemble a river. So that's always good, but tired, need caffeine stat. And I will say this, I am now glad, I wasn't before, but I am now glad that the NBA has split its 2 rounds over 2 nights.
Yes, glad for the split over 2 nights. Still felt rather weird having it on a Wednesday. And I'm not saying that a Thursday makes a massive difference, but to go from championship game 7, and you can never predict that it's going to go 7 games, but game 7 Sunday, off season begins, Thunder have their championship parade on Tuesday, and the draft on Wednesday. It really was a 1, 2, 3, let's just keep on going through, and it never stops. And now we'll go into the draft tonight, and then free agency will be starting up.
Well, for the NBA, it's like, take that, NFL. We can keep this as a 365 kind of business too. So, I mean, you want something, we got something for every day of the week. So it's weird, but think about this. Teams like, the Grizzlies and others who didn't play deep into June have been ready and waiting and itching for this. I mean, the Grizzlies are the team that surprised us all on Father's Day with the Desmond Bane trade. And part of that was used last night as they traded up with Portland to get Cedric Coward. And I tell you, I don't know if Grizzly fans have read the link that I certainly read late last night, but when, Cooper Flagg was the raison d'etre of this draft and Cedric Coward's, measurables are very, very comparable. Maybe they got a sleeper in this draft. I'll admit, when I heard 6 games this last season, injury, I'm like, whoa, what you doing over there? And then I read more about him and it's like, okay, let's see how this goes, shall we?
Yeah, it definitely is a let's see how this goes. And it's an interesting position for the Grizzlies to find themselves in coming out of the first round of the draft because before Father's Day, the Grizzlies didn't have a first round pick in this year's draft. And then they get number 16. and then they turned 16 into 11. And now we're sitting here talking about back-to-back years in which they have had lottery picks in the draft, from Zach Edey last year to Cedric Coward this year. And I'm curious for you, Teresa, how you view what that means for this Grizzlies timeline. I think listening to Zach Kleiman last night, a continued commitment to the importance of trying to get Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract extension or new contract done this offseason. He also talked about wanting to bring Santi Aldama back. Santi Aldama, a free agent, and didn't want to get into the specifics with it, but at least put that out there. There's this notion of building around Ja and Jaren, but then there is also a lot of young talent on this team, including last night's first-round pick. Has that adjusted how you're viewing what it is the ultimate goal is for the Grizzlies this season, or even the next 2 seasons?
No, I think the ultimate goal is first, before they can contend for any championship, is show that the key pieces, any starters, can be healthy and play a minimum of 65 games. There's a reason that's the minimum to be considered for the the postseason and All NBA awards. You can't be an All NBA player if you don't play 65 games. And for the Grizzlies to get to where they want to go, that's the first step. Show that you can have the core of your team, your 5 starters, available and able to play a minimum of 65 games. Then you can start building. Looking over to OKC, they haven't had to deal with the kind of injury issues that seems to just plague Memphis year in and year out. And then we get to, and if they're healthy, then they get to the postseason and something happens to Ja. So we need to see them, particularly Ja, to be healthy. And the thing is, they swapped out Desmond Bane. Ideally, you hope that this Cedric Coward slides in and maybe takes that spot with his ability to shoot threes, maybe a little bit better defense maybe. But the idea is this: he's cheaper. Desmond Bane had gotten a big contract already, so he is cheaper. And to build and try to get to that point of contending for a championship, you do have to put pieces around that are young. You can't pay everybody, not even in the NBA. And, so that's the thing. That's why they had to make that, Lego piece move.
That should be the new slogan of the NBA. The NBA. You can't pay everybody. And we're seeing it in real time, right? Like, we're seeing the case with the Boston Celtics and them moving on from 2 pieces of their championship team just 2 years ago, Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and all of the rumors swirling on if they could also be dealing Jaylen Brown or Derek White. And that is just, it's the perfect representation. If you needed a blueprint to show people, hey, this is how this new CBA is going to impact teams' ability to stretch into that second apron or the luxury tax, look no further than the Boston Celtics, who just won a championship 2 years ago and feel the need, and like a true need. It's not just to feel the need. They really understand the need to not be paying that many players. And that's the point you bring up, Teresa, is the Grizzlies really couldn't pay Ja, Jaren, and Desmond Bane. And so when people looked at that trade of Desmond Bane as perhaps a reset for the Grizzlies, it was more just a retool, and understanding that at that point you had to move on from Desmond Bane because he was not giving you enough. That young core was not giving you enough to dedicate that much money to all 3.
And that's the thing. You got to be able to pay these other guys. I mean, you can't bring back a Santi Aldama if you're paying Bane. And you can't extend Jaren and keep him for the longer term if you've still got Bane around. So there was that need to create some cap space, and that's the challenge. So now they do need, with Diallo, they need to make sure that these young players develop and as fast as humanly possible. I mean, Jalen Wells kind of had a dream rookie season, but you want to see more out of Zach Edey, and right now he's recovering from ankle surgery. Right. So that's the challenge: is stay healthy, develop these players, but Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant have got to lead the way, and you do that by being available on the court.
Teresa, watching the Thunder win the championship on Sunday, what's your level of confidence in that team based on bringing it all back essentially next year, being able to once again run through the West in such a dominant fashion that we saw them do this past season as well?
I'm very curious. It's tough to do it twice,
right?
Especially when you're so young. Usually when we see teams do it again and run it back, three-peats, that Pat Riley literally trademarked with the Lakers, it's a group that has some veterans. The Lakers, Showtime, had Magic, Kareem, and that incredible supporting cast. This is a young OKC team. Can they handle it? There's a couple guys that are going to get paid this offseason. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's got, he got rid of his agent. He's trying to position himself for his next big deal. So the outside factors of the NBA start coming in. Guys are going to, the money never disappears for long. And, so does that become a factor? And when guys get paid, there's sometimes that human reaction of easing up just a smidge. Maybe you don't take that charge or dive on the floor for a ball. And guess what? All these other teams, they now have a whole season of tape to study. How do we better defend Shea? How do we do this? How do we stop this guy? And they get to try to counter and everything that worked so very well for the Thunder this year. So it's easy. You can understand why odds makers might put OKC near the top, but they've got to prove that they can do it. Doing it once is incredibly challenging. We just saw them literally go to Game 7 to do just that and win a title. Doing it again, they're a target in the NBA, and everybody's coming from them.
Right. And in Game 7, where Tyrese Halliburton goes down and will always be one of the what-ifs of sports history.
Yes. If he's playing that whole game, chances are that we'll never know. So that's the thing. Don't OKC, enjoy your championship gear. I hope you took lots of pictures at the parade. Treasure it, because in sports, no matter how long you think that window is open, it slams shut. You're in another room in the house, and all of a sudden it's like, what was that noise? And that's what sports is. That's why we pay attention.
Did you have a favorite pick in last night's draft, or a favorite story, favorite reaction?
The young man, was it Thomas Sorber, whose mom was literally crying, and he was like, I'm going to make this name, in honor of his dad who had died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That she came over from, escaped a civil war and, worked. And she's like that. He knows that work ethic. He learned it from me. So it's like it was mom's night last night at the NBA draft. And as a mom, I heartily endorse a young man celebrating one of the biggest moments of his life, hugging mom first. Not the agent, not your best bud, not your coach, but your mom. Because trust me, as a mom, you ain't there without mama.
Spoken like a true
Wait, who
mom.
are y'all hugging first? Get drafted into whichever good draft you want to be drafted in. Got the whole family
Whole
there.
family's there?
The cameras, or I don't know if your whole family's there. Got people there. Cameras are around you. Get taken 3rd overall. Teresa, you'll be a number 1 overall selection. Everybody knows that. Who are you hugging first?
Who are you taking?
Well, if my mom's there, I'm hugging her. Then I'll hug my husband. Because again, she's the one who every mom sacrifices to get you where you. My mom once broke open a bank, a little piggy bank, so I could have some money when I went to an internship in Nashville to have some little extra cash. So these young men, you hug your mama first.
Sacrifice the body, what they went through to bring you into the world, and then it can be a fight between husband, partner, dad,
girlfriend, dad, yeah,
and then everything else they can fight it out for the number 2 hug. No, I agree. I thought even watching Malawach out of Duke get drafted and the emotions for him, and learning more about his story being a refugee from South Sudan, and he goes to Luol Deng's camp and watches a movie to be inspired about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his brothers, and is like, I want to do that. I want to have that life, going to America to play basketball. And you could just see in that moment the tears that came down when the Suns drafted him, and he didn't know at the same time the Suns were also trading for Mark Williams and getting 2 centers in about 30 seconds. But watching his actual live reaction, I was like, oh, this is why we do the draft. This is why the draft is such a special thing that comes every year between the NFL and the NBA and every other draft for the professional sports league. It's special moments like that. Obviously, the star of the show last night, outside of Memphis and Cedric Coward here locally, like, it really was the Cooper Flagg draft. And you had ESPN all day with coverage from Maine. I think every single person in the state of Maine was at one of their 4 watch parties for Cooper Flagg, and he gets taken by the Mavs. We do this from time to time, Teresa, where there is a player that is billed so highly. We call them generational. We call them the best since ... How high are you on Cooper Flagg and the belief that he is in the right position for him going to this Dallas Mavericks team?
I'm going to need to see it. Wemby going to the Spurs, you're kind of like, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Why? The track record. And I'm sorry, going to Dallas, is that not a team that just traded away their big star in Luka? And didn't seem to take bids from anybody else. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to need to see. Now, on his side, it absolutely seems like he's got all the wherewithal, the drive, the skills, etc. Yes, I have questions about what Dallas can do for him and make sure that he blossoms into the NBA the way he needs to. So if you were going to San Antonio, I wouldn't have any questions whatsoever. But Dallas, yeah, I'm sorry. I got questions. He's going to have to answer them, and so are the Mavs.
Absolutely. Teresa, we appreciate you always. Get some caffeine, get some sleep. Second round later today. We'll catch up with you next time. Consensual heart hands, always. You can find the latest from Teresa Walker at the Associated Press. She is on Blue Sky, Teresa M. Walker. She is on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker. We will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give our best and worst of last night's NBA draft. And still ahead, we have a draft of our own. We are drafting the best movies of the 21st century. We'll be back after a quick break.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies at home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, that could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle, with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back, welcome back. And getting into some more happenings from last night's NBA draft winners and draft losers. CJ, did you have a biggest winner of the night from the NBA draft?
I mean, the team that drafted first.
That seems about right.
That's the obvious
1
answer.
and 2 felt big.
Yeah, like that's the one for me. The Suns' first center selection. I thought that was good. I think Malawach, whatever, I can't say his name.
So sweet.
What's his name?
Malawach.
It's Malawach. Okay. I think that is the type of center that does well in this league. Like if I had a type of center, that would be the archetype that I would go for. Somebody who is a rim deterrent, a rim runner, somebody who in a pick and roll can go up and finish above the rim. I like that type of big, so I think the Suns, while I am unsure what the hell they're doing, I think the Suns got a good one in Malawach, and we'll see if they mess this up. I feel like it's going to be hard to mess that up, but if there are a few teams out here who I think can, I think the Suns are one of those teams, so we'll see. They've got
that's good news for the Grizzlies.
They've got what, like 5 shooting guards and 10 centers?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
That's all you need.
Come on. What are you doing from a roster construction standpoint right now?
Well, that's Brooklyn Nets taking 3 guards with 5 of their picks last night.
They got 5
hit
picks.
on one.
All you got is
Yeah, but they
one
got
of them.
5 picks, and to start with, Yegor Demin, who I loved as a college player. I thought his run through the tournament with BYU made me a BYU believer for a period of time. I'm not sure I would have taken him with the 8th pick in the draft. Most mocks had him in the 20s. So I feel like by taking him with 8, it set them up for whatever their haul, quote unquote, haul was with those 5 picks. It was going to feel underwhelming. And that's how I felt with the Brooklyn Nets, who I did think were one of the losers of last night. A co-winner loser, I think the Trailblazers coming out of complete left field and taking a center out of China who nobody had heard of, Yang Hansen, with their pick at 16, that they had done the switcheroo with the Grizzlies getting 11, Trailblazers getting 16, them taking Yang Hansen. I think it's a loser move for the Trailblazers, but a winner move for Yang Hansen, because I went down the Yang Hansen rabbit hole, and I'm ready to believe. I'm ready to be excited about the Nuggets exec who texted, I think it was Jake Fisher, who said that he heard from a Nuggets source that this was the Chinese Jokic. And then suddenly you're like, okay, I'll bite. And he's the 7'2" center. And for a moment in time, he wore a Grizzlies hat because we still do this. That's my biggest loser. Why do we still do this? I know why. I know the business side of it. I know that the trade can't be official and they have to do the hats because of the business legalities of it. But it's such a lame-o move that NBA players get drafted and you know where they're actually playing and they have to wear the hat of the team that had traded that pick.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I hated watching Cedric Coward in a Trailblazers hat. So stupid. He's not a Trailblazer. Also, what if you were just a casual and you turned it on? And what if you're a proud Willamette graduate in Portland, Oregon, and you're like, hell yeah, Willamette, represent. I'm going to drive down to the Moda Center, I think it's the Moda Center, and watch Cedric Coward play for the Trailblazers. Then you're like, what the hell?
He's not here.
Show up opening night, where's Cedric Coward?
What if they play the Grizzlies opening night and you're there, you're
your
like,
mind is just blown.
wait, he's on the wrong team. What happened?
I just think we're so advanced as a society. And that is so dumb that you cannot wear the correct hat. But whatever. This Yang Hansen, he has his own clothing line with a Chinese clothing company. You want a Yang Hansen shirt? Also translates to handsome one if you move the letters around.
You call him Yang Hansen. I call him Yang Handsome. Look at that guy.
I mean, handsome one. He was in the stands at Barclays. He's
I
just
saw that
sitting in the
video, and
stands.
his name gets called. He just stands up and waves.
He also thanked Rich Paul as he was like going to the stage, and so then people were like, anyone who has a Rich Paul in, like that's how you know this guy. That's why Portland goes and takes someone who no one has heard of with the 16th pick. I would also say it's odd because Portland has a ton of centers. I mean, they just took Donovan Clingan last year. They have Robert Williams. They have DeAndre Ayton, who does play for the Trailblazers. That was a part of our draft show last night. There was a small little switcheroo, thinking that Ayton still played for the Suns. I won't call out who, but he is with the Trailblazers. So anyway, who knows what they were doing. Ace Bailey, we have not talked about Ace Bailey being a loser in preferred destinations. He tried his best to not end up with a team like the Utah Jazz, and the Utah Jazz and Danny Ainge said, that's too damn bad. We are going to take you with the 5th pick in the draft. Obviously, one of the buzzier stories going into draft night, because Ace Bailey had not done workouts for a handful of teams, canceled workouts for some teams. All indications were that he really wanted to play for the Washington Wizards, and they would have been there at 6. But the Jazz get him ahead of time, and he did not look particularly thrilled to be going to Utah.
One of the teams he worked out for, if I'm recalling the story correctly, one of the teams he did work out for was the Celtics. The younger Ainge was there then, and then he takes a job with the Jazz. So he's like, yeah, I'm working out for the Celtics. I'm not working out for the Jazz. Joke's on you, buddy. I'm going to go work for the Jazz. You worked out for me, didn't even know it. Come on to Utah, baby.
You are now on our team.
You're on the Jazz.
It is interesting. I mean, Utah takes the best player available, which seems like a solid decision
If you're drafting
for
top 5,
Utah.
I think that's something you absolutely do.
Yeah. And you hope that he can develop to be the guy, or he's good enough that you can use him in a trade someday to get the guy in Utah. I mean, Utah's one of the Utah, Charlotte, like all those teams were so hopeful that they would win the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes, and then whoop, swiped by the Dallas Mavericks and the basketball gods of fate that reward them for their activity. But if you're Utah, I don't know. You're just not in the most excitable time of your franchise. You're continued to be, of all the, you talk about the Western Conference and this like big conglomerate of everybody in the West is so competitive, except for the Utah Jazz, except perhaps for the New Orleans Pelicans. And the Pelicans, like, why the hell they're trading an unprotected 2026 first-round pick in order to move up from 23 to 13 to take Derek Queen. Walk you through it?
Yeah.
I can't walk you through it because I don't understand what they were thinking. To trade up in this year's draft from 23 to 13. And listen, I love Derek Queen.
Come on, be a better woman.
That was bad. Well, everyone's a queen in my world.
But you called it king, and he's supposed to be queen. So
I know. The patriarchy, it sifts in my brain in a really distressing place.
Come on.
That was a sign.
You got to fight that.
Derek Queen.
But move up for Derek Queen.
Watching him, it was cool to think back on that Seattle regional that I went to, the first and second round games where Memphis played. In that regional, saw Derek Queen for Maryland, saw Neek Clifford for Colorado State, and then saw Carter Bryant from Arizona. So that was a pretty successful first round show opportunity for all those players. I don't love Derek Queen enough if I'm the Pelicans, who are presumably going to be very bad next year, to give up their opportunity at perhaps having the number 1 pick in next year's draft, right? Like, and it's not just their pick. They have a pick swap with the Milwaukee Bucks. So if the Bucks pick is worse next year, that's now the Atlanta Hawks pick. I just don't understand, like, what an irrational level of presumed confidence that you are going to be better than everybody else is anticipating you to be next year if you're the New Orleans Pelicans.
And I understand if you say this is a player we like damn next year's draft. This is a guy who comes in and is immediately our guy. But I thought Zion was your guy. And shouldn't you be trying to find things that fit his style of play, not necessarily another big who is not a real court spacer, somebody who does most of their work as well from inside of the paint, somebody who, while he is around 7 feet, not the best rim protector, rim deterrent in the draft and in college basketball. So that's going to translate exactly to what in the NBA? right? Like, he's not going to be able to protect the rim. He's going to be in the paint in Zion's way, or Zion's going to be in the paint in his way. Like, it's a weird, if they didn't trade up to get him, it would still be an odd selection.
Yes.
But you throw in the fact they traded up to get him.
And give up their pick next year.
Then you throw in the next year's stuff as well. It's like, okay, New Orleans, what the hell are y'all doing? Do y'all have another move to make? Is this?
Well, they also got Jeremiah Fears with the 7th pick.
Yeah. Is this is this the end of the Zion thing? Are y'all saying, okay, we need a big down low so that we can move on from Zion? We can make that trade, try and get a bunch of first rounders for him, get a couple of rotation pieces for him, and then we're ready to go? Like, I just don't understand. If you're not trying to move on from Zion, I don't understand why you make the Queen selection at all, let alone give up what you gave up to move up to take him.
Last but not least on my list of winners, the Knipple family. Big winner last night. I saw a lot of Knipple family versus Plumlee family. Who you taking in that battle? And the
Knipples haven't done anything.
The Knipples, they've named all their children with the letter K.
How many of them is it?
And what are the middle names? What are the middle names? The people want to know. Cash, Kager, Khan, Kingston, and Kidman. And I believe his uncles all have K names as well. So this family is obsessed with the letter K.
That's good. That's good.
Cash spelled with a K, great name. Cash Knipple is a good name.
Cash Knipple is a banger of a name.
Kinston Knipple is also a great name because it sounds like Constantinople. Kinston Knipple. Kinston Knipple. Anyway.
Yeah, I saw them making I was like, oh, you get the little, this family is loaded with talent, right? That
Where
comes
are they
across
from?
That comes across my IG. I don't know. Pulaski, Tennessee is my best guess.
I was gonna go somewhere else.
That comes across my timeline from time to time.
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. That comes across my timeline from time to time where it is, hey, did you know that these high-level athletes are family members? It's like, oh, wow, cool. So that comes across my timeline like, oh, wait till you see about the Knipple family. I'm like, wait, I didn't know Knipple had family playing professional ball. And I kept scrolling through and it was children. I'm like, yo, get that out of here. This doesn't count. They got to achieve something first. They got to go pro first. Get that out of here. I'm not doing that. You didn't catch the Pulaski joke.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Figure out what Pulaski is known for. You'll be like, oh, okay, that's a deep cut. If I have to explain it, it's not that good a damn joke. But Knipple was somebody Knipple was somebody I was high on. I was high on Knipple because he's a good shooter. And he's shot at a high level, playing at Duke, playing in big games, playing against NBA caliber competition from time to time. He still finds a way to get his shot off. So I like the Knipple pick. Just curious about it now, and stop trying to force this family on me, man. I don't want that. I don't. Let the rest of the children be children, and then if they make it to the pros, then we can talk about how dope this family is. But to compare the Nipple family to the Plum, that's what I said. And then to compare them to the Plumlees, are you kidding me? The Plumlees had dudes in the NBA. These guys are barely out of 6th grade.
Big year for the silent K last name in sports. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're drafting. We have a draft of our own, inspired by the NBA draft. Now, we draft every Thursday, and today we are drafting.
The Knipple family is the K silent? Is it supposed to be the Nipple?
Oh, yeah, no, I guess you're right.
Yeah. It's only that.
Long name,
yeah, every K is hard.
Knipple.
Yeah, Knipple.
Yeah, I meant the hard K.
Hard K.
The importance of the hard K in last names in sports.
I can't wait to see Knipple run up and down the field.
Knipple. All right, we'll take a break. We're drafting best movies of the 21st century when we come back. Kiss.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizzline entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizzline is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. It is a Thursday. We draft on Thursdays. And in honor of the New York Times coming out with their list of the 100 best movies of the 21st century, they have released 100 through 20. They still have to release their top 20 as this week progresses. But we are drafting our best movies of the 21st century, which is a ridiculously impossible task that we put upon ourselves because we only draft 5 movies each. And there are so many options to take as best movies of the 21st century.
You keep using this "we" like it's the "we" Benson show. No, it's the Jessica
with
Benson
CJ
show.
Hurt. Both of our names are on the show.
No, it's the
both of our names
Jessica,
are on the show.
Well, everything after once the "with" comes in, that's like a qualifier. That does not matter.
No, you get the pretty script.
We did not come up with this.
Mine's ugly font. Yours is like nice little font.
Yours is huge. Either way it goes, you came up with this. This wasn't a "we" thing. You were like, hey, we should do this.
Yeah, but as my trusty producer partner extraordinaire, best in the game.
Magic Negro.
Best in the game. It's up to you to tell me when I have a stupid
idea. To give you the advice? To be like, no.
It's up to you to be like, are you sure that that's what you want to draft? I mean, it's a good timely draft because people are coming up with their ballots for their 10 best movies of the 21st century. And obviously, it's a very subjective decision on what is your favorite. But there are a handful that seem to be like universally believed to be the best of the 21st century. So we have to come up with who's picking first.
All right, Kyra, what we got?
Duck race?
Kyra's got to throw it up. I have no clue what
Coin
we're going
toss?
with here. Duck race, and it's regular ducks. And these ducks are slow.
I'm a red duck.
Oh, I'm going to win.
USC color ducks.
I'm going to win. There we go.
You're going to come. Yep,
there it is.
Yep.
Call me the Indiana Pacers. No lead is safe around me. All right.
Did your duck star get a torn Achilles?
I don't know. He's underwater. The feet are underwater.
Do ducks have Achilles?
I would think everything that has an ankle has an Achilles.
I've never thought about this with a duck's legs before.
Yeah, everything that has an ankle has an Achilles. That's just how the body. That's how body parts work.
Please don't. This is a really important.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, so it's called a slipped tendon, and yes, it is technically an
Okay.
Achilles tendon known as the gastrocnemius tendon in the back. Yeah, connects the. God, Jameis told me. Connects the calf bone to the ankle bone.
All right. This is bad.
Okay.
But there are a lot of good movies. I'm going to do it. I'm going to roll with arguably the greatest superhero movie of all time. I'll go with Dark Knight.
That was going to be mine.
Give it to me. Give it to me, Dark Knight. That's just an incredible performance by Heath Ledger, doing what Christian Bale was doing as well. I watch it all of the time still. It still holds up. The action is great. The storyline is great. Morgan Freeman is incredible in it. Give that to me. Give me The Dark Knight.
I wanted to take The Dark Knight because it was an easy first pick, and everything after it feels a little more difficult. All right. With my... No, what?
In the chat, they keep naming movies that didn't make my list. I'm probably not going to take it, but The Hangover should have been like on my top 20, and I've just completely escaped my mind. I only get 5 of them, so I won't be able to take Hangover, but I love Hangover. All right, go ahead.
I also love The Hangover. I'm sorry. I already hate this draft.
Yeah, like you got to just take the movies, man.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take our generation's Citizen Kane. And I grew up to hate Citizen Kane. But give me Aaron Sorkin's The Social Network, the story of Facebook. It is a tremendous movie. It is told in like the mythological storytelling way of how one of the most impactful technological creations of the 21st century impacted society, and more how it got to the point that it did from Mark Zuckerberg's creation. The Social Network, great writing, classic Sorkin writing, well-made movie, great film. Okay. I don't love it. It's fine.
Number 2, Shrek. Donkey. I love that movie. Just one of the great children movies from the 21st century and of all time. I love Shrek and Fiona, Lord Farquaad. Like the jokes that you can quite literally see go over children's heads and land in the grown-ups' laps. Oh my gosh. Those jokes are great. Donkey, Eddie Murphy as Donkey is tremendous. I know the jokes are coming. I can tell you, I think I could act out Shrek right now, play every single role. And it'd be almost like the movie, minus the fact that I'm not good. And I still laugh. I know it's coming, and I still like hurt my stomach laughing when I watch Shrek. Give it to me, Shrek. Hey, now you're an all-star.
Get your game on. Go play. Hate my first pick, but all my picks from here on out are going to be tremendous. I just didn't know where to go with number 1. I'm going to take, with my number 2 pick, I'm going to take 2019 Best Picture winner Parasite. Bong Joon-ho's multi-layered, smart humor, satire, surprise, a great twist. I think it really changed a lot of people's perception on foreign films and their desire to seek out watching a foreign film, and for it to not just win Best Foreign Film, but to actually win Best Picture was a remarkable feat. And I love that movie, and it's held up. I rewatched it, and it's fantastic.
So glad you took it. It's on my short list. I wasn't going to take it, and I was going to feel bad because I didn't think it would be taken. It is a great, great, great movie.
Great movie.
Love that you took that. That's a damn good pick. Number 3, I'm going to go Death at a Funeral. Death at a Funeral, the British one, the British comedy. Death at a Funeral had my stomach, my back, had my whole body hurting because I was shaking with laughter the entire time when I watched it. And it was so good. I had a movie night with some friends of mine in college, and they were like, okay, what movie are we going to watch? I was like, hey, guys, you got to watch this goofy-ass British movie. It's incredible. You got to sit down and watch it. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is weird, but I'm CJ. I get to be weird. I'm lovably weird. Everybody knows that. It's like, okay, are they going to like it? Because I'm at Tuskegee at the HBCU, and here comes this this movie from the pasty whites of Britain. I'm not 1,000% sure these
opposed
jokes
to what
are going
other
to
white
land.
from Britain?
I'm not sure if these jokes are going to land with the people. And oh boy, did they. Death at a Funeral, for those of you who don't know, there's a funeral and shenanigans pop off. You got two sons who, one son is super successful, the other son isn't, but he's the one taking care of the family and of the funeral. He made the arrangements and everything. And all types of wild stuff ends up happening. Somebody ends up taking the wrong drug, ends up high as a kite, butt-ass naked on the roof. It's incredible. If you hadn't seen it, go watch the British version. There's an American version that's pretty good as well, but the British version is superb. The twist, one of the funniest twists I've ever seen. Good stuff, Death at a Funeral.
With my number 3 pick, I'm just making sure that you don't take this because I would be absolutely devastated. And I don't think that you would. But you might.
I guarantee you I probably am not.
With my number 3 pick, I am taking not only what I believe to be the best comedy of the 21st century, but one of the best movies of the 21st century. And that is Bridesmaids.
Okay.
Bridesmaids is one of the funniest movies ever made. It has an all-star cast. It has a great premise. As somebody who has had to go through the process of being in a lot of weddings, it is one of the funniest, most stressful, most dramatic experience of a young woman's life. And that movie so perfectly articulates the experience and brings great humor to it. And the moment where Maya Rudolph is pooping in the street.
Oh, what a great moment.
Great comedy.
What a great moment.
Physical comedy. When Kristen Wiig is on the drugs on the plane. It is just the physical comedy in that movie is so good. And a reminder too, because we had so many male-driven great comedies of the 2000s, and like you can look at The Hangover or even like 40-Year-Old Virgin, all of the Step Brothers, Wedding Crashers, all those big comedian-driven movies, they were all men. And for an all-women-led cast to make a movie that funny, I couldn't not put it on my list.
That is a good pick.
It's a great movie.
That is a great movie. All right. Here's where it gets tough, because there's 3 that I want to get on my list, and I'm not going to be able to get them on my list. I will go with Avengers Endgame. Marvel has had a hell of a run in the 21st century, and the way everything culminated in Avengers Endgame was perfection. We were talking in the chat about Thor going back in time to talk to his mama, like fat, overweight Thor going back in time where super fit Thor was to talk to his mama, right? Because Thor is obviously battling grief and depression that comes with that. And you got the Tony Stark piece of it. Yeah. You've got the moment that right before the portals open, they're taking an ass whooping from Thanos, right? It's like, oh, very clearly, we're finna lose this. And right before the portals open, when Sam goes on your left, the yell, the shrieks from everybody in all of the theaters, whoever went to watch it, great cinema, great. Tears were shed in that movie multiple times. What ends up happening to Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow, what ends up happening to her, what ends up happening to Tony Stark, that moment when they all come through the portals and you see the Black Panther come through the portal as well, like, oh, come on, give it to me. Give me Avengers Endgame.
I'm going to take a real filmy pick, a real letterbox pick, a real I love movies pick. I truly believe this is one of the greatest movies ever made, not just in the 21st century, but all time. And with my 4th pick, I would like to take Whiplash. Whiplash came out in 2014. I think J.K. Simmons delivers one of the scariest performances of all time. And it is not a sports movie, but it might as well operate as a sports movie because the commentary that it has on perfectionism and dedication and coaching/teaching and how that can drive someone either to absolute success or the brink of destruction. The pacing of the movie, it never stops. The moment it begins, you are paced perfectly through, where by the time it's over, you're like, that flew. That movie flew at a ridiculous speed, and I love every performance in it. I love the storytelling element of it. It is a phenomenal movie. Have you ever seen Whiplash?
No.
I think you would like it.
Okay.
I really think that you would actually like Whiplash. It's a great film.
All right.
Game knows.
Put that on the list. So, this is tough. I didn't want to take it, but I am going to take it.
Okay.
I have a thing about recency bias, but I think it is so good that it warrants being on this list and maybe a bit higher than where I'm going to take it. I do want to say that Bad Boys 2 was close. Black Panther was close. And sorry to bother you. I saw Sorry to Bother You at Indie Memphis at like midnight 30. Like it was 12:30 at night. And we went to the midnight showing of it. And anything that can get me out of my house, out of bed, y'all know how much I like to sleep, and someplace at 12:30, watch it. It was incredible. Loved it. That one I really wanted to take, but Sinners is just so damn good. One of for me, the best scene in all of cinema is in that movie. It is two completely different movies, the leading up to the moment, and then once the moment happens and the vampire shows up, it becomes completely different. The themes, the messaging, the imagery, the style in which it is shot. I love Sinners. It came out a couple months ago. You can go buy it now, watch it. It's streaming now. So I didn't want to put it on there because I hadn't had a full chance to sit in it all the way. But yo, even I know, like I'm gonna sit in this, and that movie's gonna absolutely be one of the top 5 movies
That's fair.
of the 21st century.
Fair pick. All right, this is tough. You know what's so funny? If I made my top 10 like favorite movies of the 21st century, like, I don't think Social Network would be. I'm really stressed out over the Social Network pick, but it just felt like I needed like a unanimously
Why'd you
appreciated
take it?
film at number 1. I don't know. Anyway, we're moving on from it. With the number 5 pick,
You didn't
though,
have to take it.
there are so many great animated movies. You took one of them in Shrek. I'm gonna take the greatest animated movie of all time,
I can't wait to hear what this is.
WALL-E.
Really?
You know I love WALL-E. I took it first in our Disney movie
I didn't know
draft.
that was the greatest animated movie
I am a
of
WALL-E
all time.
stan, and I think it is the greatest animated movie of all time. 2009 Best Animated Feature. It should have been nominated for Best Picture. It is an environmental message. It is a love story. It has such interesting storytelling techniques behind 2 characters, primarily in WALL-E and Evie, and they are robots in this world that we are unfamiliar with, and you find yourself lost in that world. And I constantly come back even to the fear of what could happen to us, the humans, based on what they basically turn into in WALL-E. But just the compassion that comes from this movie, it's beautiful. Minimal dialogue. Like, that's the thing. What makes it so great is it's so moving despite the fact that you have almost no talking. Like, one of the most consistent things that you hear is the soundtrack to Hello Dolly. Like, just a bizarre thing that you wouldn't think would lead you. Like, when I was younger and WALL-E came out, I didn't really respect it. But as an adult, I truly believe it's the best animated movie ever made.
The way they make you feel without having to use words and without facial expressions also, right? They're robots. So the robots make robot expressions, but they're not people expressions. The way they make you feel and the way that they can show you WALL-E is curious about something, the way that his eyes sort of go down and up, and the squeakiness that they use for that. This is a great movie. I love WALL-E.
And there are some great animated movies too. Yeah. Like, I think Toy Story could be in that list. I think
not
Coco.
Toy Story. Toy Story can't. Wait, what are we doing?
Oh, 21st century. I think Toy Story 3 could be in
Toy
that
Story
mix.
3 absolutely could.
I think Toy Story 3 could.
Oh,
I
Toy
think
Story
Coco is one of the best Disney movies.
Both of those
as of
made my
late.
list. Yeah.
I have a million movies on my list.
Incredibles, if we're just sticking with the animated. I loved Incredibles. Finding Nemo.
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
Big
That's
fan.
a good one. Do you want to read off your list?
I'll read off my list.
Okay.
Trying to think what I would change out the Social Network for. I love the 2019 version of Little Women, directed by Greta Gerwig, starring Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, and Florence Pugh. I think it's a beautiful retelling of a story and shows how you can take classics and remake it into something that works so well, even when it's remade in the same time period. It doesn't have to change time periods or anything. It's just through a different lens. Get Out has changed the horror genre. One of those movies that just sticks with you forever. The Worst Person in the World is a French movie that I'm obsessed with. That would be on my top 10 of all time. After Sun, recent movie starring Paul Mescal, cried like a little baby at the end of it. If I was looking for a Wes Anderson movie, Grand Budapest Hotel from the 21st century, I think Royal Tenenbaums came out pre-2000. If I'm thinking, I might be right on the edge of that. Chicago changed my entire perception on can a movie musical be as good or better than a stage version of that musical, and Chicago remains, in my opinion, an elite example of that.
Royal Tenenbaums came out 01.
Oh, then I'd take Tenenbaums as a Wes Anderson over Budapest. Moonlight, The Departed, The Prestige, which I think is a far superior movie to Inception. I said what I said. Mad Max Fury Road, No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Brokeback Mountain, Children of Men, the fourth Harry Potter specifically.
Which one is the fourth one?
Goblet of Fire.
I have that on my list.
One of the Lord of the Rings. I don't feel passionately, but those were great movies. Manchester by the Sea, Inglourious Bastards, 12 Years a Slave, Almost Famous, Florida Project, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay.
I loved The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
It's a good movie.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
It's a good movie.
I just wanted to say Kelly Clarkson, you know.
Shout out to friend of the show, Kelly Clarkson. I had, in addition to Black Panther, Bad Boys 2, and Parasite, I had Hitch, Sorry to Bother You, Watchmen, Mad Max Fury Road, we both shared that, Into the Spider-Verse, Judas in the Black Messiah, The Harder They Fall, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Like You. The original Kings of Comedy, I had that one on there. That was just such a special moment to be a part of. And then I had I Am Not Your Negro on there as well. But I would add 40-Year-Old Virgin. I would add Wedding Crashers.
I'd add Step Brothers. I think it held up.
I'd add Hangover. Will Ferrell had Other Guys. Like that.
Yeah.
That's my Will Ferrell movie. I think people would put Anchorman in there if you're thinking about some of the Will Ferrell movies. Yeah, it's been a lot of good movies in the 21st century.
I'd put 2 documentaries. I forgot. I had those as like asterisks. Man on Wire, which doing the limited research that I did for this draft, I'd forgotten about that movie. I watched it in school. It's about the man who walked between the Twin Towers on just like a thin piece of wire. It's riveting. And then there was a documentary that came out just a couple of years ago, I think, called Time, about a woman who was trying to get her husband out of jail for a crime that they both committed in the 90s. And he was sentenced to like 60 years and she was out. And it's her efforts in getting him out of prison. One of the most moving documentaries I've ever seen. So those are those 2. Great movies. We should have all the movies. We could have done nothing but movies. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, because it's 9:30. Did you like Kimberly Akimbo?
Oh!
I realized we never talked about it. Kimberly Akimbo is the musical currently playing at the Orpheum. We are nearing the end of this season of the Orpheum. Just 2 shows left, including Kimberly Akimbo. The Wiz is here in July, which should be awesome. But Kimberly Akimbo was a Best Musical winner a couple years ago, and it's here now. CJ and I both saw it on Tuesday night. I highly recommend, if you're trying to beat the heat, because it's hot as hell out there, tickets, I think, are like $35. This is a beautiful, just really endearing story. It's funny. You'll laugh. You'll cry. It's weird as hell. It's really hard for me to know how to pitch it to somebody, and it's definitely not a musical for everyone, which might not be the best way to try to sell, hey, you should absolutely go see this show. I adore it. It's probably my favorite new musical of the last 10 years. It has stuck with me. I listen to the soundtrack fairly regularly. I thought the touring cast was phenomenal. I saw it on Broadway. I saw it on Christmas with my mom and my husband a few years back, and we all cried like little babies. And I did not cry again on Tuesday because I'm strong.
Wait, which moment made you cry?
The end. Some people said, the people around us were crying for like the last 30 minutes. Straight.
Really?
Audibly crying. Yeah.
Maybe my heart is just cold.
We know
and
who
dead.
you are. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that.
From the moment it kind of turns, the story turns into the final chapter of it. Yeah.
All right. I thought it was a wonderfully weird little play and didn't realize in the moment while watching it, because I'm so caught up in what's going on the stage. A tremendous set, by the way. Tremendous set design also. I'm so caught up in what's going on the stage that I don't really sit in the oddities of it. Like, get home the next day, in the morning, wake up and brushing my teeth, just thinking about the coolness of the play. The aunt is hilarious. Her first song is tremendous. I laughed audibly throughout that damn performance. It was great. Made me feel good. I felt good leaving it, right? Like I felt happy leaving it. Although it ends on a a weird little note. But I was brushing my teeth.
A hopeful yet sad note?
I guess that's what you would say. I was brushing my teeth and I was looking in the mirror just thinking about it. I was like, wait, did that really happen in that damn play? It was a lot of that type stuff happening. It's good. It's good. Go see it. Go see it. It's fun.
And I think for some people, like the absurdity of those things that do happen, it's like, what the hell? What am I watching right now? What is this story? And you just have to lean in. I mean, the story itself is of a woman who has a disease that makes her age at like 4 times the rate. So she's 16 years old, but she looks like she's in her 60s or 70s and having to deal with that. She's in high school. There's high schoolers in the show, so some really young actors. But yeah, no, it was really nice to see it tour as well as it did. I will note, if you go see it, there are a couple of Graceland references. Those are in the show. Those are not written in because they're in Memphis. I remember when Chris and I saw it in New York, and it has a significant feature of Graceland at one point. And we were like, you have to be kidding. Memphis follows us everywhere. And I wish it was of the Bass Pro Pyramid instead of Graceland, but that's okay. That is what the most identifiable part of Memphis for most people around the world is. But anyway, go see it. It's at the Orpheum. Tickets are really cheap. I think the crowd that was there on Tuesday reacted really positively towards it. I was trying to figure out if it was like acceptable to recommend to kids. I would have seen it when I was a kid. It's just language. It's fine.
Do
they say the
curse
C
at
word?
your kids?
Maybe.
Y'all curse around your kids. I'm not saying you curse them out, but you
I'm the kind
curse
of
around
person who
kids.
would like take an 8-year-old to go see that show. But I think there are some people out there who would then take their 8-year-old and might think it was a little adult content.
If you ever swear around your children, it's fine. It's fine. You're one of these weirdos who decides that you're not going to curse at your kids or curse around your kids, and I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. That'll do it for today's show.
Hey.
CJ made me so mad in the first segment. I'm not showing up tomorrow.
Good. I'm glad. I'm gonna try and make it up to you though.
I might not show up Monday.
Can I make it up to you?
Yeah.
Here's a picture of Pedro Pascal. He's on the cover of Vanity Fair. Can I just get the one, Kyra, the one with him in the mirror?
Yeah.
Because they get the arms, they get the waist, and they get that ass. Just the one with him in the mirror. Like,
whew. What a beautiful gift on my way out.
Damn! That's a
I take
sexy
it back.
man.
I'll come back from my vacation.
That's a sexy man
I'll
right
come
there.
back.
Look at that. Look how he fills out those slacks.
Wow. Let's just take a moment of silence. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I will be back, whatever the date is, coming out of the first games of Summer League. I'll be in Salt Lake City with the Grizzlies for Summer League. I'll catch up with you then. CJ and Devin Walker are going to have you covered tomorrow. The early porter, Lang Whitaker tomorrow. God, see, that's why I need you.
No, you don't.
Keep me on track.
Please don't.
Lang Whitaker's going to be in tomorrow. Devin Walker's going to be here Monday, Tuesday of next week. And then we will see you when we see you. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. Wow, that's like how I end every call. Talk to you later. Bye.